If you were an avid reader of Sega Saturn magazine, you'd know the editor Rich Ledbetter very well. He was a huge advocate for developers taking the console seriously as a powerful games platform. And when he discovered the little game called Exhumed, otherwise known as Powerslave, ported by a group called Lobotomy Software, the game blew his mind. And he championed Lobotomy so much that they ended up putting Rich into the credits of Duke Nukem 3D in the special thanks section. Fast forward to now, all these years later, and it's time to reopen the tomb that Rich fell into all those years ago, and have another try. The story of Exhumed is told in an incredibly cool opening sequence narrated by Don LaFontaine, who also provided the narrator voice in the great 90s TV show Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction.
Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction.
You play a Special Forces soldier who's the Earth's last hope at defeating the enemies of man that have surfaced in the city of Karnak in Egypt. They've stolen the corpse of King Ramses for some unknown purpose, and you've got to eliminate the evil and reclaim Ramses' corpse before they can use it for some nefarious purpose. The thing that you need to know about Exhumed is that it's a virtually perfect exploration FPS. There's nothing about this game I can really fault too much. The control is extremely fluid and the use of verticality in levels really shows what the Sega Saturn is capable of. Levels are huge polygonal affairs with valleys and transparent water rippling underneath. You control fluidly and the gunplay is extremely well balanced. The game isn't just a straightforward FPS. You have to navigate areas abound with inaccessible doors or blocked walls you need to blow up. You might find in other areas you need to float or breathe underwater. All of these abilities are relics Ramses tells you to find in specific areas of the game world, navigated by a map system. Found what you need? Climb back onto your camel and head back to open that new path. This is essential to get the best ending in the game, as well as you can only do this if you have all the radio transmitter pieces. And the only way to get all of them is to have all of the abilities bestowed upon you and to head back to where they are later. The flow of Exhumed is just exhilarating and focused and masterfully executed. The level design is logical, coherent, and outstanding. The enemy confrontations, tense and exciting. The moment I saw the huge lava worm thing rear up out of the inferno below me, I was in awe at how good the developer was at building so much tension and so much excitement out of an assemblage of sprites and polygons. Speaking of sprites and polygons, Exhumed also looks amazing with crystal clear textures, great transparent water, and really fun enemy sprites and animations. The setting of Egypt with its crystal clear blue sky and ancient sandy tombs contrasting with the ultra-violence going on creates a really interesting visual dichotomy, and it's something that really makes Exhumed stand out. Finally, Exhumed has a brilliant soundtrack with what is probably my absolute favorite ending theme of all time. I mean it. It's absolutely fantastic and does a great job of rounding out how great of a job you've done just to get to the end of the game. It's saying to you, great job, you can rest. You've overcome an undead army and came out victorious. Great job. If I had to criticize anything in the game though, it's that sometimes the verticality of levels creates a sense of disorientation and confusion that can sometimes feel insurmountable. However, there's only a handful of moments like this that I can remember. It may sound like bias when I say this is almost perfect, but Exhumed really is. It not only shows off what the Sega Saturn can do, but in a way that's uniquely its own. Lobotomy created the slave driver engine just for this game, and little did they know, they would end up as legends on the Sega Saturn, with what was probably the most powerful game engine to ever run on the console. While Exhumed was surmounted by other games later, there is no question this is a shining gemstone, a golden relic of its own, and one of the crown jewels of the Sega Saturn.